Okay, friends. Today we're going to read chapter November 10th, 1943. Make sure that you have your novel study notebook out. You're going to be taking notes as I read. And after the chapter is over, you're going to be summarizing it. The usual. Make sure that you are stopping when I stop to take a note about what's happened. And at the end, the summary should be concise and just kind of explaining the gist of the story. Let's begin. Remember, our last chapter that we read in class was about Misha finishing the opera. The performance went really well. It was a little bit bittersweet because he was thinking about all of his friends that had left over the past few weeks because of the transport, the mysterious transport out east. But yeah, let's continue and see what's going to happen next. This is almost a month later. November 10th, 1943. Why do we have to go to sleep so early? Leo asks after Franta tells us to wash up. It's barely even 8 o'clock. A bunch of the other kids join in to complain, including me. Quiet, everyone, quiet, Franta says. After we all finally shut up, he says, listen, tomorrow may be a very difficult day, and I want everyone to be well rested. Right now I'm thinking, dun, 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 what's about to happen? Difficult, Pavel says, laughing. What day? Here isn't difficult. Yeah, Coco says. This is serious, Franta says. There is a rumor that someone, perhaps more than one person, has escaped. And good for them, Pavel says. Pavel, please, Franta says. That's enough. Franta crosses his arms over his chest, but doesn't say anything for a few seconds. They want a full count. Ooh, a full count of what? I ask. Of everyone. Everyone, Pavel asks, no longer trying to be funny. Yes, everyone in Terrazin, Franta asks. We all burst out with a ton of questions. Everyone, as in everyone? Where is this going to happen? Because how could they possibly find a place big enough for all of us? Because we barely even fit in Terrazin to begin with. When is it going to start? How long will it take? And why isn't a regular count, when they gather the count from each room in each barracks, why isn't that enough? Franta doesn't have too many answers. In fact, he doesn't have any. So we get into bed and try to be satisfied with his promise to read to us until everyone is asleep. So this is a good stopping point. We're going to pause here and take a note right now of what's going on, how Misha is feeling. Go ahead and pause the video and take that note in your notebook right now. What's going on? What did we just find out? And how is Misha feeling about it? You can pause the video here to do that. And we're back. I think I might already be asleep when something startles me. I look towards the door, which is open a crack, letting a sliver of light pour in. Franta stops reading. Then some loud whispering and steps come straight at me. A few moments later, Mother's standing over my bed. Mother, what are you? Take this with you tomorrow, she says, spreading the blanket, the one she's already tried to give me a couple of times over me and Jiri. What are you doing? I whisper, now definitely awake. It's way past curfew. They'll put you in the small fortress, or maybe even shoot you if you get caught. Are you crazy? Mrs. Gruenbaum, Franta says, standing next to her. I can't allow this. She ignores both of us. Take it with you. It's supposed to be cold and rainy tomorrow. Don't forget it. And dress in layers as many as you can manage. Mrs. Gruenbaum, Franta says again. Mother doesn't say anything for a few moments, just straightens out the hair near my forehead. Franta, she finally says very quietly, if I see Misha out there, out where, tomorrow, without his blanket, so help me God, Franta, I will. No one says anything for what seems like a long time. Not Me, not mother, not even Franta. Then she leans over, kisses the top of my head, and disappears. I look at Franta, who's rubbing his face and mumbling something. I can't make it out. As soon as mother leaves the room, I hop out of bed and run to the window. I sort of expect Franta to order me back to bed, but somehow I'm not that surprised when he appears next to me instead. About 10 seconds later, I spot mother below, out in front of our building. Stay away from the lights, I tell her in my head. And just like that, she steps off the street and disappears into the darkness. She doesn't reappear, but I stay at the window anyway, following an imaginary path toward her barracks with my eyes, holding my breath, and hoping not to see any guards walking by. Okay, Franta says softly a couple of minutes later, into bed. But I don't move. I just look up at him. He has a strange expression on his face, like he's somewhere else entirely. Do you think she's okay? He doesn't answer for a bit. The look in his eyes only gets stranger until he barely looks like himself at all. Yes, he says, his voice quiet, quite dry. Yes. This is a good stopping point as well to say what just happened with that interaction with mom, right? Mom came, demands that Misha has the blanket. Franta pretty much just lets her do it. And she even threatens Franta to ensure that Misha has the blanket tomorrow during the count. Okay, that is actually the end of the video for now. We're going to save the next chapters, pretty long, and it's one that I think we need to go over all together as a class. So we're going to stop our video here. You guys got a short little chapter today. You got lucky here on this Wednesday. So please remember that you need to summarize this whole chapter in your own words in your notes, and you need to have those notes ready when you come to class, because we will have an entry ticket, and that entry ticket is what determines whether or not you are able to participate and move forward with the reading. We've got a big juicy chapter coming up next, so make sure that you have your notes ready. You do not want to miss our lesson on Friday. Okay? All right, friends, summarize this and you are good to go. Have a lovely Wednesday.